Yeah, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck.
Hello and welcome back to Mad Hatchet Horror. My name is Madison and I'm here with...
Madison.
No. Who am I here with? Okay, where are you from?
Where am I from?
Yeah, like what podcast?
Oh. The Bonsai Movie Crew.
And what's your name?
Eric.
Wow, you're smart.
Just kidding. Joseph. I'm Dad.
Okay, and today we're going over The Exorcist from 1973.
Woo.
Yeah, woo.
Don't mind all the screaming kids outside.
Or the basketball.
Or the basketball.
Yeah.
Because this is, in fact, a neighborhood.
Yes. Let's scream.
Yeah, let's scream.
Okay.
We know they're up there recording a podcast, but hey, let's scream anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So, it is directed by William Friedkin. It's Friedkin.
I didn't write it down. I don't fucking know. I'm going to assume that you're correct.
I'm going to assume that I'm not correct. It's about when a teenage girl is possessed by a mysterious entity, her mother seeks the help of two priests to save her daughter. So that sounds fun. And it's written by William Peter Blatty. It's written for screen by novel. So I don't know what that means. I'm going to assume it means what it says.
No, William Peter Blatty wrote the screen, written for the screen by William Peter. He also wrote the novel. So William Blatty wrote the screenplay, which is the story, and the novel.
Okay.
But William Friedkin, yeah, would be the director.
Is he fried?
He might be, especially after making some shit like this.
He fried for ideas. The cast is Ellen Burstyn. She plays as Chris. Max von Sydow plays as Father Marin, and Linda Blair plays as Regan. What a douchebag. Anyways, what did you think about the movie?
I thought it was well, I didn't like it. I don't like exorcism movies.
I like The Conjuring and stuff, but I was trying not to fall asleep.
Fucking Christ. Yeah, I don't like exorcism movies. I don't like The Conjuring. I don't like The Exorcist. I didn't like The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I don't like An American Haunt. I don't like any of that stuff.
I watched one exorcism movie. It was called The Exorcism of Molly Hartley, I think.
Yeah.
I liked that one.
I watched that one too. I didn't like it either.
I liked it.
I don't get into this stuff. I think that the supernatural and the whole thing is like, it's dumb. I think it's not scary to me, I guess, because it's not a physical thing.
Yeah.
You know, so like, it's not scary to me. I've never been scared of this kind of stuff. I'm also not a fan of like haunting movies, like ghost movies and stuff. They don't scare me either.
Yeah.
Paranormal Activity, all that stuff.
Stuff's never scary though.
That shit doesn't scare me, so I don't like it. I think they're boring. And this movie was exceptionally boring.
It really was.
It had a few good moments. It was like, ooh, gross. Like the part with the crucifix that the girl had, and then she told her mom to lick it, which was pretty.
Yeah, that was
very, very graphic. I was like, holy shit, I can't believe this. They got away with this in the 70s.
Yeah.
But I had seen this movie once before, years and years and years ago, like whenever I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But I hadn't seen it since because it just doesn't appeal to me. I don't like.
I'd never seen it before, but people like talk good about it all the time. But I was trying not to fall asleep.
Me too, actually. I was trying to fall asleep too.
Like, my eyes kept
dozing
shutting,
off, and I was like, oh my god, it was just boring. And I mean, I get why people like it so much. it's a well directed and well acted movie.
Yeah.
And it does have its freaky moments. Like the little girl does a great job, and I think that they do a good job of selling the movie. But I just think that it's not my cup of tea. I know a lot of people think they'll tell you that this is one of the scariest movies they've ever seen and blah blah blah. Which, I mean, for the 70s, this movie probably was top tier fucking horror. I mean, it probably scared the hell out of people because back then they weren't as overexposed as we are now today.
Yeah.
So like back then, something like this probably did scare the shit out of them. But for me, I think the movie's
Mental.
dumb and boring. But I think that way about all exorcism and haunting movies, and I don't like them. The only kind of Exorcist movie I want to watch is Constantine, and that's not really horror. That's actually more action. It's a comic book movie.
It's a comic book movie?
Yeah, it's got Keanu Reeves in it.
Oh.
They're actually getting ready to make a sequel.
Sequel?
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. But other than that, I got nothing wrong. I don't think that this movie's like bad or anything. I just don't like it. I think that it only appeals to a certain group of people who like that type of horror.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of those people. I don't like this kind of stuff. I'm more of a monster movie kind of guy. I like monster movies, slashers, and
slashers,
shit like that.
yeah.
So, like, you give me a good werewolf movie or something like that, like I'm all about that. But I can't do exorcism. Exorcism movies are dumb.
Slashers are my thing. I like the Conjuring movies. I didn't think those were they're good for like sleepovers and stuff, like so you can still talk and know what's going on. I said that last night.
Yeah, I just think that this movie itself, I mean, it's not a bad movie. Like,
it had a good plot.
I mean, I'm not gonna
just
say it was
slow.
bad, and I wouldn't give it a low review, but I would say that it's just not my thing. It's like I would still say it's a good movie, and that it would appeal to people who love, like, if you've never seen The Exorcist, and you love horror movies or exorcism movies, I don't know where you're going wrong, because this is top tier viewing right here with horror movies and exorcism movies. So I didn't really take any notes on this movie because I was just I wasn't into it.
I didn't take very many notes either.
I just said this movie is slow. And then I said, they spend too much time trying to diagnose the girl in the movie.
They did spend a lot of time doing that.
They did. They spent
like
too much
half the
time.
movie
Like, most of the
doing
movie was them trying to figure out what's wrong with her, which I get. That's probably
what would happen in real life.
what would happen in real life and all that. And they were very real. Some of the scenes were very realistic, like the part where they were talking to the girl, or the girl was getting the brain scans and stuff, and they put that thing in her neck and stuff. And I was like, holy shit, that actually looked real. Like, it looked real whenever the blood was squirting out. Like,
yeah.
I was like, holy crap.
Like, you could even see it on the other side of the bed, too.
It looked procedural, and I thought it was really a really nice touch. I think that a lot of the movie, other than like her face makeup, face prosthetics and stuff, and like the vomit, obviously, like all that, everything else looked pretty real.
Yeah.
Like her in the hospital and stuff, like they're doing tests on her and stuff. Most of that looked pretty real.
Yeah.
I think that but like the face prosthetics, I couldn't get behind that. It looked actually, I was watching, I was like, it reminded me of Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, because I'm like, oh man, like Reagan looked like a deadite. So it's just, that's what she looked like. And it makes me wonder, because I'm almost positive that
He just turned that up.
I don't know, man.
I hope you guys like this song.
There's some background music for you. Some rap, if you're into that stuff. I don't even know. Does he even know we're up here?
Anyways.
So, anyway, yeah. I didn't really get a lot of notes on this movie.
Neither did I. My first note was I didn't realize that there was something wrong with the priest's mom. I didn't realize that she was, like, mentally ill. I just thought she was sick.
I didn't either. I do like that the priest had some issues of his own, and I didn't like that they didn't bring in the actual Exorcist until the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, the movie's called The Exorcist, and you don't even see him.
He's a little bit in the beginning, but he's not even a priest then.
Which didn't make any sense, really. I think they drug the whole beginning out, like with him walking through northern Iraq and stuff. I was just kind of like,
why was he even there?
It seemed to me like he was on some sort of like mission. He was digging up old artifacts. I assume old religious artifacts and things like that. I know a lot of priests and stuff like that do that kind of stuff.
So what did any of that have to do with?
Nothing. I think it was just kind of showing what he was doing before the events of the movie, and I just think that they drug it out a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because for a character that you don't spend hardly any time with, they give him a lot of
credentials.
Well, I would say that they gave him too much expectation in the movie. Like, so by the end, essentially, his character is resolved by this exorcism, and like you see, because you see that statue during the exorcism right before he dies. You see that
right? Did
same
he die
statue.
Of old age? I don't
know. I think
from?
that he something, yeah. But it's funny because like at the beginning of the movie you see that same statue. It's like it came full circle for him. But I'm like, but you really didn't spend enough time with that character to care.
Right.
Like I didn't really give a shit. I'm like, I don't care. Like if they would have had him in there more, like give you more time with that character and try to hash that out with him and through his battles and struggles maybe or whatever, that would make more sense. But you spend more time with the other priest than anything in the movie.
Right. What was the point of spending time with him?
Right.
I feel like we should have been spending more time with
him.
And
then only for him to take this demon and jump out a window and kill himself.
Right.
Which I didn't understand. I'm like, so just like that, it's over with? Like,
right.
Like I didn't like that whole thing.
He was like, take me instead, and then
which, don't get me wrong, that very heroic, and that makes sense that his character would do that. That was his arc.
Right.
You know, that was his he was able to conclude his mission by doing that. And that's fine, but like give us more emotion in that instance.
Right.
You know, instead of making it just like this
take me instead. Pew!
Yeah, this like 5-second thing where take me instead, then he jumps out a window. It's like, come on, dude. Like that's
it. That's
the best you can do. Like, and then they just drag out the end with that other priest that you spend literally, probably I don't know,
like
2 minutes of the movie in, and they're like showing him, you know, and then Reagan comes out and she's all like fine and normal again, and at the end of the movie, and you're like, okay so. There's just no repercussions of any of these actions or anything that happened here.
And how did she get possessed? From the Ouija board? Was that?
I would assume. I don't know if a Ouija board is the reason she got possessed. I'm gonna have to go out on a limb and say that is the cheapest cop out I've ever seen. Ooh, a fucking Ouija board. You know what I mean? Like maybe back then in the 70s that was.
Something
weird, something.
I know, because Granny was always like, if I ever catch you girls playing with a Ouija board, I'm gonna get you, because she was like, she said whenever she was younger, she had experiences with it or whatever. I was like, oh, I wasn't planning on it, but okay.
Right. I will say I don't care what Zach's listening to music, but he's listening to Tupac, and I'm okay with that. This is Tupac.
Oh.
I like Tupac. So anyway, but yeah, other than that, man, I don't really. Man, we're only 13 minutes into this.
There's not much to say about it.
There's really not. I mean, there's a lot of. I don't really care much for this movie. I don't think that it's a personal preference, though. It has nothing to do with the movie itself. I will say, like, the green slime that she kept throwing up. It looked gross, but at the same time, it just kept thinking, like the Kids' Choice Awards, or something like that. I'm like, oh, they just got slimed. You know what I mean? Like, It was so dumb looking. It looked like some shit out of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie or something.
Oh yeah,
it was stupid.
It did look not real at all.
I was like, green slime. I was like, that one part where she
projectile
spit up
vomit.
this shit on him. Like, no, not the vomit part. The other part. Like, she spit it in his face. I was like, oh, that's fucking gross.
What?
Whenever she spits it in the Exorcist's face.
Oh yeah.
Like, it wasn't a whole bunch of vomit. It was just like the spit, like, wow. It was like a fucking.
He just ignored it too.
It's like a loogie, and he just took his glasses off and like wiped his face. Like I was like, ugh.
Yeah,
You just got loogied in your face. It's fucking gross.
Gross.
But yeah, you could tell they definitely aged him up. He was you could tell that they aged him up, like put prosthetics and makeup and stuff on him to make him look older.
Yeah.
Because that guy, whenever he made that movie, wasn't that old. He wasn't as old because he lived for a lot of years later. What else did I saw him in something else? Years later, that he was in. I had it. I was thinking about it too. I was like watching the movie. I was like, oh yeah, that's what I remember seeing him in. Let me look real quick. I'm gonna tell you because I just remember seeing him. Yeah, okay. So he was in What Dreams May Come, which is a great fucking movie. But he that was made in '98, I believe. So like, and he looked as old in What Dreams May Come as he did in this movie.
Like after they did the prosthetics.
Yeah. So like, see, like this is him right here, like, and that's essentially what he looked like in What Dreams May Come.
Yeah.
Back in '98.
Okay.
This is in '98, but this
Okay.
movie, the Exorcist, came out in what year? Like 72 or something.
73.
73. So yeah, 73. So like they aged him up like 30 years for the movie.
That's
which
a lot
is,
of years.
Yeah. Like Linda Blair, which is the girl who plays Reagan.
Right.
She's like in her 50s or 60s now. So.
Yeah, that makes sense because it's been like 50 years since that.
Yeah.
Was
So
made.
she's. Yeah, I think that as a movie, I don't think it's terrible. I just. Meh.
Yeah.
It was boring, and I don't know if we watched maybe the extended cut because it was really long. It was like 2 hours and 40 minutes.
It was 2 hours and 11 minutes.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh, it seemed really long. Like
it did seem really long. I felt
like
like
it
I
was like,
sitting
are
there
we
for
watching the
hours.
extended cut? Because there's a lot of drug out bullshit in this movie.
Yeah.
And I was getting kind of irritated with it.
I felt like I kept like falling asleep over and over again, but then I'd wake up and we were like in the same exact spot as we were.
Yeah,
I doze off.
I was dozing off during the movie too. Movies like this, I have a hard, like especially since we watched it so late. But movies like this I have a hard time with them keeping my attention. Like and the sad part is I never remember what happens in the movies because I don't pay attention to them. So I'm like, they're like, do you remember this part? I'm like, no,
I
don't. I don't remember that part because I really didn't care.
And they're like, but that's such a good part. I'm like,
And I'm a movie guy. I love movies, man. I watch a lot of movies, but like certain movies just can't hold my attention. Like these kinds of movies, and then like romance movies. Like you're gonna lose me.
real fast.
Real fast. Like I'm not. Like you want me to fall asleep? I'll fall asleep to that shit.
Yeah.
I can't do it. So.
That and I'm not good with documentaries at all.
I love documentaries, but they have.
There's only ever been
it has
one
to be.
documentary.
It has to be
that I haven't
interesting.
fallen
And it has to be able
asleep
to hold my attention.
Yeah, not me. I'm not good with boring people talking. That's why I don't like history. I can't sit through because all they do is in 1974, and they make it sound so
1974.
boring.
Well, that's because you probably had boring ass history T-shirts.
Mr. Golden wasn't. Mr. Golden was fine. He had a really loud voice though, so it was hard to fall asleep.
I don't really have a lot of notes on this movie. We can rate it if you want, and we can jump into a bunch of trivia and stuff. This movie has an ass load of trivia.
I only screenshotted some because I figured we'd talk longer.
There's not a lot to talk about. I just don't.
I don't know if my data is gonna be fast enough to load it.
Load what?
The trivia. That's why I screenshotted
I have it. I've already got it.
Okay.
You can read some if you want, and then I'll read some.
Okay.
Do you want to rate it or anything?
Yeah. What do you rate it?
This movie?
Yeah.
Out of what? 5?
Yeah.
Is that what you do it out of?
Yeah.
Out of 5 crucifixes?
Sure. Yeah.
I think that for this, I don't know.
5.
It's a
toy.
classic. You can't go wrong with it. It's long though and boring. I think for me, like, and people's probably gonna hate me. Like, I'll go down the middle and I'll give it a 2.5. 2.5 crucifixes.
I don't know.
That's more than what you're gonna give it.
Yeah, people are gonna hate me. I'm only gonna give it a 2 because I don't even remember half of it.
I remember all of it. I just don't care.
I think I remember all of it.
It's not a bad
but
movie. It's just not my kind of movie, and that's why I went down the center. I'm like down the middle, because it's not. It doesn't appeal to me, but I know it appeals to a lot of people, and I know, and it is a good movie. It's just not my kind of movie.
It should be my kind of movie. I love the Conjuring movies and like the Exorcist movies. I like movies like those, but this one was just really
this is
slow.
also way before your time.
I know.
So I think that is like, I think the age of the movie gets you. Like, whereas me, I'm like, I've seen a bunch of old movies. Like, one of my favorite horror movies.
I just watched The Nightmare on Elm Street, and that was only like 10 years after.
Yeah.
Oh, don't know.
He's probably going to get dinner.
Thank God. He's gonna leave his music on though, isn't he?
No, he wouldn't leave it on.
Oh.
So you want me to read one, and then you read? How many did you get?
The first bunch, a lot, but not like a lot.
I'll tell you what. I'll read a couple, and then you can read a couple.
Okay.
All right. The scene where Regan projectile vomits at Father Karras, only required one take. The vomit was intended to hit Jason Miller in the chest, but the plastic tubing.
Misfired.
The plastic tubing. What the fuck? The plastic tubing misfired, hitting him in the face. His reaction of shock and disgust while wiping away the vomit is genuine. And Miller admitted in an interview that he was very angered by the mistake. By this mistake.
Well.
But it's. Whoops. Oh, you're gonna have to turn that on, Madison.
I don't know how. I suck.
You can't see us. Just do the thing up there, the lever thing on the top. Just do the thing, or turn it off and turn it back on.
It doesn't work like that.
Okay, well, do the thing. Clicky. No, where are you going? On the top. Here? Yeah. Other way. Boom. We're back, baby.
All right. Anyways.
So there's that. Let's see here. Due to death threats against Linda Blair from religious zealots, I don't know what that word is, who believe the film glorified Satan, Warner Bros. Had bodyguards protecting her for 6 months after the film's release. Jesus Christ. It's just a movie, you psychos.
The 70s.
I'm telling you. The highest grossing Warner Bros. Warner Bros. Film of all time when adjusted for inflation. So is it still then? Or on the first day of filming the exorcism sequence, Linda Blair's delivery of her foul-mouthed dialogue so disturbed the gentle, manly Max von Sydow that he actually forgot his lines. I don't know which one that is. Probably the old dude.
What was his name? Max. Oh, that was Father Marin, the priest.
The main guy? Yeah. Yeah.
Not the Exorcist. But
Yeah,
the
right.
Other one.
Not the Exorcist.
Yeah.
The original teaser trailer, which consisted of nothing but images of the white-faced demon quickly flashing in and out of the darkness, was banned in many theaters as it was deemed too frightening.
What? Really? The
guess.
70s?
It's the 70s. What do you expect?
Oh. I can just imagine people from the 70s rolling up in their funky outfits like, oh, I have a face. Like passing out.
I don't know if they really act like that, but I'm sure back then, like horror, I think the worst horror movie, they didn't even show blood or anything like that. Movies didn't get an R rating until the first movie to ever get an R rating was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I believe that.
And because of how violent it was and how frightening it was. So I could only imagine and that was after this movie. So I can only imagine what kind of terror and things like that, like what people thought of it, because it was just something that they had never seen before. This is not something that you would have normally seen in a movie theater. Like, You know, I think that the most violent movie before this would probably have been like, honestly, I couldn't even tell you because I can't think of any from the 60s that was like overly or hyper violent. But the sad part is though, is even back then they had porn and everything else, but this frightened them. But you know what I mean? Like this grossed you out, but porn didn't, especially in the 70s.
Especially the 70s.
With all their hairy parts and stuff.
Ew.
But anyway, I digress. Upon its initial theatrical release, the film affected many audiences so strongly that at many theaters, paramedics were called to treat people who fainted and others who went into hysterics. Really? You fainted?
People are fainting over the Terrors 2 right now.
You mean Terrifier?
That's what I said.
Like, I don't understand what like, I go into a movie, man, I know it's not real. Like, that's what I don't understand. I'm like, people have to understand that this shit's not real.
That's the people that are passing out are either chicks or chicks' boyfriends who want to be, like, hardcore but aren't.
I guess, maybe. I don't know. I watched Terrifier 2, and I laughed at that part that everybody said they were passing out from or leaving the theater and throwing up. I laughed my ass off during that part. That shit was hilarious. I said, that's some good makeup effects, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, he spent all of like the COVID time
developing that scene.
Yeah.
It's outrageous to me. People are
mental.
People not mental. I would just say that they're weak-minded.
I just like that word.
If adjusted for inflation, this would have been the highest grossing R-rated film of all time. Oh, this was rated R. Oh, look. Jack Nicholson was up for the part of Father Karras before Jason Miller landed the role. William Friedkin thought he was too unholy to ever play a priest. That's fucking hilarious. Too unholy to ever play a priest.
Wow.
Well, what movie? He was in, what the fuck? The Shining. Was that before? That was probably after this.
That was after, definitely.
Yeah, that was probably after this.
That was made in like the late 80s, I think.
No, I bet it's either the early 80s or the late 70s.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the early 80s.
Uh-huh, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't the 70s.
No, probably not. I'm thinking it came out in 84 or something like that. The Shining
probably.
Did. All right, what trivia do you have?
Is that all that you had?
No, I have more. I'll just let you read some.
Okay. Jason Miller, which I don't know who that was in the movie or whatever. But Jason Miller stated that he had a major verbal confrontation with William Friedkin after the director fired a gun near his ear to get an authentic reaction from him. He told Friedkin that he is an actor and that he didn't need a gun to act surprised or startled.
I agree with that. That's pretty messed up. I know that what's her face? What's her name? Ellen Burstyn or whatever, the mom.
Yeah.
She that scene where she initially comes in and the first time that she sees Reagan going nuts in her bedroom and she throws her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And she lands, that part where she lands and you see that reaction on her face, that's because she fucked up her back during that scene.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, she had permanent back damage from doing that scene.
Whoops.
Yeah. I guess they threw her so hard or something that it really messed up her back.
Our bad. One of the most famous scenes in the movie and the shot used for the posters and the cover of DVD and VHS was inspired by the 1953 to 1954 series of paintings of Empire of Light by Rene Magritte. Magritte? I don't know. It is the scene from where Fr. Marin steps out of a cabin, stands in front of the
that's the most popular.
residence.
Like if you see a post, like an Exorcist poster, that's the one you see. Like the one where he's standing there in his silhouette and the light from the lamp and in front of the apartment building or the house or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most whenever people see that, that's iconic to The Exorcist. You see that and you're like, that's The Exorcist. You'd automatically know.
Oh. The agency representing Linda Blair overlooked her recommending at least 30 other clients for the part of Regan. Blair's mother brought her in herself to try out for the role. Yeah. Father Dyers, played by William O'Malley, an actual priest who until 2012 taught at Fordham Prep, a Jesuit high school. Anyway, you can keep going with yours.
Okay, I'm going to see what I got here.
Okay.
Oh, here's a long one.
No, just...
Actress Mercedes McCambridge, who provided the voice of the demon, insisted on swallowing raw eggs and chain smoking to alter her vocalizations. The actress, who had problems with alcohol abuse in the past, furthermore wanted to drink whiskey as she knew alcohol would distort her voice even more and create the crazed state of mind of the character. As she was giving up sobriety, she insisted that her priest be present to counsel her during the recording process. At William Friedkin's direction, McCambridge was also bound to a chair with pieces of torn sheet at her neck. Wow, okay. Arms, wrists, legs, and feet to get more realistic sound of the demon struggling against its restraints. Wow, Jesus Christ, they really went method with this, didn't they?
Yeah.
McCambridge later recalled the experience as one of horrific rage, while Friedkin admitted that her performance, as well as the extremes at which the actress put herself through to gain authenticity, terrifies the director to this day. Oh, Jesus. Well, suit you right, you fuck. You're the one who shot a gun next to somebody's ear. And,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jesus. But yeah, that's pretty cool, though. That's an extreme.
People went through to extremes in the 70s, didn't they? Jeez.
I'm telling you, I guess so. The Exorcist is the first horror film to be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture. The only other one is Get Out from 2017, Jaws from 1975, The Silence of the Lambs from 1991, and The Sixth Sense from 1999.
I did think that movie looked really good for being in the 70s.
What?
Does it like the picture of the movie?
Oh, right, yeah. Where all nominated, The Silence of the Lambs won, but these films are not designated as horror films on IMDb. The bedroom set had to be refrigerated to capture the authentic icy breath of the actors in the exercising scenes. Linda Blair, who was only in a flimsy nightgown, says to this day she cannot stand being cold.
I mean, I wouldn't eat. I just still don't like being cold. It's cold up here right now.
Right, yeah, it's a little chilly up here right now. The studio wanted Marlon Brando, who was a famous actor from back then,
Yeah.
for the role of Father Marin. William Friedkin immediately vetoed this by stating that with Brando in the film, it would become a Brando movie instead of the important film he wanted to make. Yeah, Brando, Marlon Brando is he's a very demanding actor. He wants things his way, and he was a massive pain in the ass to work with. Because he was in The Godfather, he didn't even memorize most of his lines. They literally wrote his lines on cue cards, and he'd read off of them.
So is he a bad actor?
No, he's a good actor, but his arrogance and things got to his head so much to the point that he demanded things out of people and this and that. I heard he's just a fucking nightmare to work with.
Yeah.
He's dead now though.
Oh.
Damn, they just have so much goddamn trivia. Here's some spoilers.
Oh.
This says, spoiler alert. There are tales about ominous events surrounding the year-long shoot including the deaths of 9 people associated with the production and stories about a mysterious fire that destroyed the set one weekend. Actors John McGowan and I don't remember this dude's name, I can't pronounce it, whose characters die in the film, both died before the film was released. I don't even remember who all died in the movie. Oh yeah, I guess the director guy did.
Yeah, and then the 2 priests at the end.
Yeah, but they're not talking about them.
No?
No, they're talking
I thought that was the only 3 people that died.
I'm trying to think. I know the director died.
I'm pretty sure that was it. Was it?
I don't remember. You might be right. Yeah, I don't know. So, okay, so hold on a second. Let me see here. Come on, load.
So where was the dad during all of this? I forgot to mention that. He just didn't know.
He was somewhere else. He was like.
He wasn't answering the phone or anything. He just didn't know.
So. Okay, so the guy. Oh, Vascular, the lady, the mom.
Yeah.
She passed away before the movie was released.
What?
Yeah.
Who?
The priest's mom.
Oh, the priest's mom.
And the Jack McGowan, with the guy who played the director.
Oh.
So they both had passed away before the movie was released.
Huh.
But yeah.
Oh yeah,
so,
the grandma died too. His mom.
That's who I was talking about.
I know. I mean, in the movie.
Yeah, in the movie. So anyway,
Did you lose your place?
what? No, I was done.
Oh,
do you
okay.
have any?
No, I'm good.
Oh, we're 36 minutes in.
Yeah.
Do you have any more trivia?
I do, but I don't know if you've read them already.
No, I don't know.
William Peter Blatty said that William Friedkin misinterpreted the head spinning scene. He said Regan's head was described as turning almost all the way around, not literally all the way around, rotating 360 the way it did.
What? He misinterpreted it? Like.
It says he said Regan's head was described as turning almost all the way around, not literally all the way around, rotating 360 degrees the way it did. But he made it do that. It wasn't supposed to turn all the way.
Oh, I see. It wasn't supposed to turn all the way around.
It was just supposed to like turn.
I remember what scene they're talking about. I thought that was kind of dumb when they did that.
Wouldn't the little girl's neck snap?
Technically, yeah. Yes. But like the part where like even whenever the part where it turned all the way around, like did a full 360, you're like, that's physically impossible. Like I understand that she's possessed.
Yeah.
But to make her do physically impossible things is
a
little bit of a stretch. Like her walking down the stairs backwards on her hands and feet.
That was freaky.
I mean, yeah, that was freaky, but at the same time, you're like, that, okay, people can actually do that.
Right.
But like turning your head, doing a 360
right, and I
with
thought
your head,
he said her heart stopped. The little girl's heart stopped.
Oh, I don't know.
Because he would like took
No, it didn't. It wasn't that her heart stopped. He just said it's her heart. He probably like he was getting a slower beat or something like that. He did say that it had stopped though.
I thought he said it stopped.
But yeah, like making her head turn all the way around was really dumb. You know, like I understand making it doing like maybe a 180, like where it turns. You know, yeah, like okay, I get that. Like even that's pushing it.
Yeah.
But like to do a 360 is kind of.
Yeah, it was like.
I think honestly, I think that's one of the cheesiest parts of the whole movie is whenever she turns her head around both times.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's so dumb. Like, what a dumb, cheap thing to do.
Right? Why would you do that? Don't do that.
Like her running down the stairs backwards was pretty cool.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
But anyway,
honestly, I think that was the freakiest part in the whole movie. I'm a sucker for jump scares though, so and loud noises. If there's a jump scare and a loud noise at the same time, then I don't do great with it.
You're right.
I'm an easy target.
To that. All right.
You want me to say it?
Yeah, you need to say it.
Okay. Okay. The demon seen but not named throughout the film is called Pazuzu, a demon known in Assyrian and Babylonian mythology as the demon that brings famine during the dry seasons and locusts during the rainy seasons. He was the king of the demons of the wind. I didn't know that.
That's who the demon was?
Yeah, the king of the demons of the wind.
He said that he was the devil, though.
All demons say that. The devil. They all say that.
But that's blasphemy. You think that they wouldn't be allowed to say things like that about their master?
I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm not a demon. You don't know their laws, or do you?
You're my daughter, Madison. You're always a demon.
Not a demon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, jeez. I keep swiping up, but, it's screenshotted, so I can't swipe up.
Swiping up.
Swipe up. The Fear of God, 25 Years of The Exorcist, 1998. William Friedkin states that the studio Execcs E-X-E-C-S
Execs.
Execs would...
Like studio executives.
would come up on a weekly basis to have a look at the shooting progress. They shook their heads in disbelief, believing that the movie was utter ridiculousness.
Utter ridiculousness.
That's say that 10 times fast.
Utter ridiculousness. Snisness.
Shnish.
Shnish.
That's all I have for trivia, though.
That's all I got, too.
There wasn't much on this movie.
There's a lot of trivia on this
I
movie.
mean, trivia-wise, but there's not a lot to talk about.
There's really not. I mean, if you want to comb out the finer details of, the characters and things like that, but you almost need more than an hour to talk about this movie if you're going to take a deep dive into it. It's just one of those kinds of movies.
I don't remember enough about the movie to do that.
I remember everything. How we just watched it last night, but
I know. It's the funny part.
It was hard to keep my attention, and I just, like I said, I don't care much for exorcism movies.
Yeah.
It's not my cup of tea, man.
I'm pretty sure Paw Patrol keeps my attention better than.
I disagree with that too. I hate Paw Patrol too. So
I do too. That's the funny part.
But I'd watch this before I'd watch Paw Patrol all day.
I'd rather not. I'd rather stare at the wall. But
I don't want to stare at no wall either.
I like staring at walls.
At least if you stare at The Exorcist, at least that wall has a girl demon in it and stuff like that.
Okay.
Whatever. Anyway.
A girl demon that uses a crucifix as a toy, yeah.
Let's not go there. That shit's weird.
That is.
It is one of the weirdest part of the movie. It's like it makes you uncomfortable. You're like, ugh.
It's like, oh.
And not in like, oh, it's a scary, uncomfortable. No, as in it's a fucking weird, uncomfortable.
It is weird. Especially because that's
could you imagine?
Mom,
yeah,
too.
could you imagine that little girl being like, yeah, like telling that little girl, like, yeah, we need you to take this crucifix and shove it in your vagina multiple times and very violently. Like, could you imagine being the parents of that little girl? Like, I don't know how old she was whenever she filmed. Whenever
she had to have
this movie.
been not like under 18, definitely.
I don't know. I could see her being 18, but either way, though, like. Either way, she's still portrayed as like a 14-year-old girl or whatever.
I thought she was like 12.
Yeah, something like that. And I'm just kind of looking at it like, yeah, but still though, man, like, it's fucked up.
It is. That's
fucked up.
That's screwed.
But like, in the fact that like in the 70s they even allowed that to get into the movie, and without an NC-17 rating or something is beyond me.
What is it rated?
It's rated R.
Oh.
NC-17 is worse than R, though. It's like...
You couldn't see anything, could you?
Oh, you couldn't see anything, but it's implied. And then she grabs her mom by the head and tells her to lick it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in doing so, like, her mom comes up with a face full of like face covered in blood,
Yeah.
which you know where that came from.
Right.
So it's just kind of like, ew.
Yeah. Ew.
Yeah. So
like if I was her mom, even after the Exorcist and everything, I'd still stay away from that child.
this girl, Linda Blair, went on to do one or two more Exorcist movies after this one, after the first one.
Linda Blair, Regan.
Yeah, Reagan. Yeah,
Reagan.
the little girl.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she was in Exorcist 2 and 3.
Did she die?
I think she's still alive.
Oh.
Yeah.
How
She's
many
still alive.
Exorcist movies are there?
A bunch. Okay, so she's in The Exorcist. Yeah, she was just in Pieces of a Woman, which actually Crystal's ironically watching right now. Or wait, is that a show on Netflix? No, she's watching something else. Never mind. But yeah, she was also in Requiem for a Dream, which is also another fucked up movie.
She must be a sucker for them movies.
Yeah, no shit. I know she was in like 3, like Exorcism 3.
Yeah.
Let me check real quick. I'll tell you. Damn, she's been in 160 things. She was born in 1932.
Jesus, she's almost 100 years old.
She's old.
1930. She's 90. She's either 90 or 91. Or, yeah.
So she was in.
Cause tonight will be the night that I fall for you.
Shut up. So she was in The Exorcist in 1973.
Right.
Then she was in. Where's the next one? Jesus Christ, woman, why'd you act so much? She's like in everything.
Why didn't you just ask Google how many Exorcist movies she's in?
Because I was just trying to find them.
Oh.
Good lord. But there's so many movies to sift through. Let's see here. The Exorcist. Okay, right here. The Exorcist 2. The Heretic. She was in that one. She came back as Reagan. Yeah, she was Reagan.
Is she pretty?
Yeah, she's not a bad looking lady. She's pretty. And her as a young adult, she's also pretty. Even the priest or what the hell? How does the Exorcist come back? The guy who was the Exorcist. He's
alive?
No, he's apparently he's in the second one. I don't know, maybe he was in a flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he was in a flashback or something. I don't know. I've never seen it, so. And then there is The Exorcist 3. Let's see if she was in that one. Oh, this one's got Brad Dourif in it. Jason Miller, isn't that? Was he in the first? Yeah, he was. So they also bring back Jason Miller, who played the priest in the first one.
What?
But he doesn't play the priest. He plays some guy called he's Patient X, I guess, or something. Which is weird.
Weird, yeah.
Linda Blair is not in the third one. So there's that. Okay. And then there is The Exorcist: The Beginning, which came out in 2004. And there's a show called The Exorcist, which is 20 episodes long, that ran from 2016 to 2020. Yeah.
Sweet.
That's it looks like. But I don't think that let's see here, let's in the beginning. I wonder if she's in that one. That'd be interesting. Doesn't look like it. No, she's not in that one. So, yeah, she was in the first two.
Sweet.
Yep. says so. It was in 1977 that one came out. So she'd have been, I don't know. She was born in 1932, I think I said right.
Yeah.
So 32. So she'd have been 40 years old.
What?
What? No, that ain't right. 1932. If she was born in 1932. So yeah, she would have been actually. So whenever she did The Exorcist,
She was not 40 years old.
no, whenever she did The Exorcist, it came out in 70. God damn it! Do it again.
She would have been how old?
So in The Exorcist, so she was born in 1932, and they did The Exorcist in 1972 or 1973. God damn, yeah, she's been like 40. How's that even possible?
Are you sure that's when she was
That's
born?
when she was born. It says right here on her IMDb.
What's her name? Linda Blair?
Linda, or... Oh, shit, I'm looking at the wrong one. My bad.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Linda Blair, sorry, my bad. Not 1932. She was born in 1959.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So if she was born in 1959, that would make her... She would have been...
in
1959, so she'd have been... No, she'd have been 14 years old whenever she did the first Exorcist.
I knew it. I said 15 first.
So yeah, she'd have been like 14 years
Such a
old.
math.
And then she would have been 18 whenever she did the second one.
Huh.
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, 18. That's crazy.
14 years old. Okay, yeah. If I was her parent, I would be uncomfortable. So.
Yeah, right. So imagine being that guy directing her to do... You know what I mean? Like, to do those things. That's so fucking weird, you know?
That is weird. It's kind of almost unbelievable. But at the same time, it was the 70s.
She did a lot of low-budget shit. Yeah, she did a lot of low-budget stuff. Like, she did not do a lot throughout her career. She was in the first Scream movie.
No, she wasn't.
She was obnoxious something. So she was like a low character.
Was she one of the people from the party?
I don't know.
I know there's this one girl that had a really obnoxious laugh.
I'll tell you here in a second. So she was ill. Where's she at?
'Cause tonight will be the night.
Obnoxious reporter, uncredited.
Oh, okay.
She was just probably in a crowd of reporters.
Yeah, I saw. I know what it's talking about.
But yeah, anyway, so that's it. That's all I got. I'm done talking about this movie.
Well, that's it. Is there anything else? I don't think so. We already rated and everything, so.
Yeah.
That was The Exorcist. I'm going to be moving from this podcast to Dad's podcast.
Possibly. Depending on what her mom says.
Yeah, because I'm still technically a child, so. Yeah, but still go check out Dad's podcast anyways.
Regardless, we're going to try to work something out here so that she can be part of the show. I think it's just kind of makes sense because she's got to fight every week to get somebody to do this with her, and obviously she doesn't want to have to do it by herself. And I already do a podcast, so so if I do hers and mine, I'm doing two podcasts.
Two podcasts.
Two podcasts a week,
pods.
and that's just too much. I also work. I'm a busy dude. Do a lot. I'm a busy guy. So
yeah.
So she's going to try to make her way over to our podcast, dependent on what her mother says.
Dependent.
Yeah. So we will see, and if that does happen, then you can find her over joining the Bonsai movie crew.
If you like the sound of my beautiful voice.
Right. So, and over there we don't just do horror movies, we do all movies. We do all sorts of movies. And we will be starting a Patreon up soon too, so you can subscribe for more content. So we're going to try to do that. And that's another reason why I can't keep doing hers also. Because I'm going to have to create extra content as it is. So at the very least, maybe we'll create content with her to put on the Patreon. Because then we won't have to do it on... Because we always record our show on Wednesdays.
Yes. Okay. Is that everything?
I guess so, yeah.
Sweet. All right.
So, this is the end of the Mad Hatchet Horror Hour, but it'll be back, at the very least, I would say, on our Patreon. I think it'd be cool to do on there.
Yeah.
Do an hour of content or something, or a half hour of content, where it's you, me, and, or something like that. You and one of us on there doing that. So you can find her there, but you'd have to subscribe to our Patreon to get that, because we're exclusive bitches.
We're special.
Yeah.
We're special.
So if you want to see that and you want to see Madison do more stuff like that, find us over there. But hopefully everything works out just fine, and she'll be recording with us every Wednesday anyhow, and you'll be able to find us on YouTube and Spotify, all that good happy stuff, and you'll be able to find her over there reviewing movies with us every week. So we're hoping that's the case, and we hope that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, sound good?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Well, bye.
Bye.
Bye.